OG has always been a creative team, and that was a huge part of them winning 4 major titles and 2 the international championships. They've changed the meta several times over at this point with their unique approach to the game, but nothing in their history turned heads the way that Ana's Carry Io did at the International 2019. Hey folks, so it's Steven here, and we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different today. So we here at Winner are going to be starting up a new video series where we take a look back at some classic games from CSGO, Dota 2, and League of Legends. And I'm going to be starting things off today, and I'm going to be starting things off with a game that's kind of a favorite of mine, which is basically the debut of Carry Wisp or Io, which was done by Ana in the International 2019. And this isn't going to be a guide because basically everything here has been patched out of the game already. So you're not going to be able to imitate this strategy, but it's worth taking a look back at how they made this happen and how it basically worked and why it worked so well for OG. If you don't follow Dota 2, it's actually a really interesting dynamic because essentially Wisp is the most definitively, rigidly support hero in all of Dota 2. He didn't really have any kind of offensive capabilities. He didn't really have any kind of special damage output, but OG managed to find a way to make him just an overwhelmingly powerful hero under the right circumstances. So we're going to go back into the replays and show how they managed to pull it off. And of course, make sure to subscribe to keep up with all of our content and to follow this series as we move forward. So the general idea of this build is to take advantage of 2 really strong power spikes for Wisp that come together at basically the same time if you can pull it off properly. Now those 2 power spikes for him are hitting his level 15 talent, so you end up with 2 upgrades to spirits, as well as Aghanim Scepter, which ends up giving him basically double cast on spirits. And those things together end up giving him a power spike that allowed him to deal more damage than any other carry hero at the time. And you can't do this anymore. But this build was incredibly strong for that short window where it worked. It ended up being a not insignificant part of why OG ended up being the winner of TI9. Now, we're going to look at a couple different parts of how this ended up coming together in the game. And the biggest thing is if you come here to the 6-minute mark, you can see some of the really, really great farming techniques that you had between Ana and his support in the lane, No Tail. Now you can see him stacking camps here, and it ends up, again, not as strong as it used to be because we did see this nerfed away, but you can see Ana farming these 4 camps in the Dire's top jungle. And when you have that stacked for him by No Tail, it ends up being a huge windfall of cash for him, basically anytime it happens. And on top of that, as you can see, No Tail ends up allowing him to farm all of this, both for the gold and for the experience. And again, you need both the Aghanim Scepter and that level 15 talent to come together at the same time. If you can do that, it ends up being just such a huge amount of raw damage that Io can put out that just nobody can match at this point. Now, we're going to cut forward a couple minutes from here. But as you can see, he doesn't immediately rush to an Aghanim Scepter. He does make a detour over to Helm of the Dominator first. Now you're going to notice also that he doesn't actually have boots. And this all ends up making sense because the Helm of the Dominator serves 3 different purposes. Now first, obviously, it gives him a creep to control, and that gives him 2 different benefits. One, it allows him to always have a unit to tether to, in case anybody tries to attack him, or in case he needs to just get somewhere faster, if he needs to get to the lane after farming the jungle, or anything else. It's a very useful tool for Io when you have the skills to actually use it properly. The other benefit that you get from the Helm of the Dominator is that you can effectively use it to make your farm even more efficient. Now you see him here with a Satyr Tormentor. That gives him the ability to, 1, both have the great HP regen aura, as well as the ability to throw Hadokens at enemy camps and just farm them even more quickly. Io is already a really efficient jungle farmer because of Spirit's damage, but it ends up being even better when you combine it with different big neutrals. The third benefit is that you can obviously use it to tank. Yeah, you have the HP regen, but on top of that, it just allows you to stay fresh. You know, Io is still a hero that is at his most effective as a global threat. And being able to stay at a sufficient amount of health to be able to take advantage of opportunities to get kills is important, and you do end up seeing Ana take advantage of that as the game progresses. Now, once Ana ends up hitting level 10, he does get the Spirit's Slow talent, and that ends up being a really important part of this. Now, if you think back, Spirits actually used to have a slow mechanic as well, and it didn't require talent, so just imagine how overpowered this would have been if Ana was doing this a few months prior. So once Ana has both the level 15 talent and Aghanim Scepter, he instantly becomes much more aggressive than he used to be. For most of the game before this, he was very picky and choosy about which kinds of engagements he would take and when he would step in to help the rest of his team with fights. Once he has both Ags and the level 15 talent though, all of OG just quickly goes all in on offense. Now, you can see that they immediately go for multiple team fights in quick succession, and OG is basically successful in all of them. This is in large part thanks to how strong Ana's carry wisp is here at this point in the game. Now, if you have 10 spirits up at the same time and you hit all of them in quick succession, that ends up being over 1500 damage before any kind of reduction. And that's just a huge amount at this point in the game. You can also stack that in a few different ways, and you can use it to set up other heroes for kills of their own. On top of that, at this point he's also getting levels in Tether, and that carries big benefits for Thompson as well, and you can see how that ends up paying off for both of them in these team fights. Now, we see in different games of Carry Wisp from Ana that he ends up going for a few different items from here. He always goes for Helm of the Dominator first, followed by Aghanim Scepter, but in this case he ends up going right for a Heart of Tarask. Some of the other items that he went for in the past are items like BKB, but apparently he's feeling strong enough that he doesn't really feel the need to get that magic resistance that you get with the BKB. Instead, he's just going for pure tank with Heart of Tarask here. And it ends up giving both benefits for him and for Thompson as well, because that heal from Heart of Tarask ends up stacking through Tether. Now you can see the strength of the Heart of Tarask at the 33-minute mark, and this is the team fight that really basically seals the deal for OG in this game. Now, you see Ninjas in Pajamas make a huge jump here onto Seb, and he's playing Axe, and even though they invest a huge amount, particularly the Batrider lasso, into getting him and pulling him away, he ends up taking no damage here because Heart of Tarask through the tether ends up keeping him basically at full health. And that's a major part of why NIP ends up losing this team fight in such a profound way. Now, Seb ends up being able to re-enter this fight after a little while, and that allows them to clean up very effectively. They end up winning this. Thompson ends up living miraculously, but from there, OG ends up going for Roshan and then pushing high ground. Now, if you look here at the 35-minute mark, this is probably the greatest testament to how strong Carry Wisp is at this point. Now, NIP actually still has, even after that bad team fight where they invested multiple buybacks, they actually still have the net worth and the kill lead. But you don't see them even come close to winning another team fight from here. And you didn't see them come close to winning any of the previous team fights, really. Like, this build was so heavily rooted in the pure strength of Io that NIP on paper has everything going for them at this point, but they still can't even touch OG in these fights, and they just can't get kills on either Wisp or whoever he's tethered to. Now, once they have Io with all of his different items, plus Aegis on Thompson, there's basically nothing that NIP can actually do. You have OG start putting real pressure on the base after previously just kind of poking at it, and you have OG able to play the map super effectively with this lineup of heroes. And, you know, at this point, Ana, he's still capable of farming the entire jungle at the same time. And another testament to how strong Ana's carry Wisp build is just what happens when he's actually locked down. Now you see NIP at certain points end up investing multiple stuns, ultimates, they put a lot of effort into trying to CC Ana. But even as they land all those spells, those Wisp spirits are still going, they're still spawning, and they're still spinning. And they're still landing on NIP heroes and doing a pretty good amount of damage every time they land. So even when they're locking him down effectively, they're still taking massive amounts of damage from that Wisp. And ultimately, they have nothing to stop him. So they end up breaking base, they end up putting pressure, and they end up just going right for tier 4s after they break through one set of barracks. And that ends up being the end here for NIP. Now you end up seeing OG go for a similar build on Wisp in game 2, and they beat NIP even faster. And ultimately, we never even really saw an answer to Ana on Wisp throughout TI9, even though it was such a powerful force. You know, Wisp at this point was still a very strong hero, but he wasn't really at a point where you could super confidently invest bans in him. And as a result, you saw a lot of teams end up ceding it to him, and they paid the price for it. You know, Ana ended up winning every single game he played as carry Wisp throughout TI9. And this ended up being the first of several. And ultimately, it's a very memorable game. So that's going to be the end of this video. We're going to wind down. If you have any other games for Dota 2 or CSGO or League of Legends that you'd like to see us do this for, make sure to leave a comment. As always, make sure to subscribe to keep up with all of our esports content, and of course give us a like. It does help quite a bit in terms of us being able to get this video out there and available to the esports masses. So I'm going to sign off for now. Everybody have a great day and wash your hands.